You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. We have a great video request. I had to sit down and think this one through. Alice, a female, writes that, oh yeah, you just hate HR because you're women. No, I hate them because they're HR. Well, and they are women. Actually, no, I don't. I just said that to piss off feminists. And so Alice writes, hey asshole, so you've been put in charge of an HR department for a large company. How would you run it? P.S. Let's assume any crimes you commit against the HR cunts will never be found out. And I thought about this. I said we could go the easy route and just kill them all. I said, no, you know what's worse than that? Is to just treat HR people like HR people treated us. So I came up with this. I don't know if you ever saw the revenge episode in South Park where Cartman gets revenge on the school bully. I came up with a revenge almost as good as that on how I would not only run my HR department, but I would extract my pounds with copious amounts of interest on what is veritably the most evil segment of all of corporate, well, all of employment America, and that is human resources. All right, so I'm now new HR Grand Poobah Director or CEO of the company. First thing I would do, I would force all HR people to get diversity training, sensitivity training, sexual harassment training, and any other kind of, we're going to assume, insulting training where it's like, well, you're just horny men and you're just going to grab girls' boobies. Male sensitivity training. I would go to the ends of the earth to find some bullshit training, and I would force them to go into it while they have to maintain their current job duties. So we have that. The second thing I would do is then require all of them get their master's degree and not pay one dime for it. They are going to have to pay for it on their own dime. And I give the exact same bullshit. Well, we really prefer, we are a professional. We have to present ourselves to the public, and we want to make sure we have the best. Are you the best, Amy? Are you the best, Jessica? I don't know. I think you can get yourself and I'm sure you can. You're a smart woman like you could find a scholarship to pay for it. And think of it as an investment in yourself. You could command a lot higher salary when you come back here working at the Cleary Corporation. So then they all get, and this is like a 3-4 year plan I got. I'm gonna make the lives fucking hell. So they come back, and then I'm gonna force them to get continuing professional education, CPE. Well, I understand, but we want to be better. We want to get the best. Employees are our greatest asset. Just like you, Jessica, you're our greatest asset. And we need to make sure that you, being one of the greatest assets, continue to get our greatest asset, which is other employees. So we're going to need you to get CPE and stay on top of everything in the HR industrial relations community. So I may have that. Maybe even some of them go get doctors. So they do that for like 6 months, a year. So they're all getting their masters. They all load up on a ton of debt. They all go into CPE. We'll pay for that. And then I tell them they have to interview for their jobs again. Oh, my kidney's hurting. I say, well, we want to streamline operations. We want to do this. We want to do that. We want to, make sure the best. The same malarkey bullshit these fucking broads tell us with their fucking masters. And we make them all interview again. And we just ask them the exact same questions. What's your favorite color and why? If you could be an animal, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Just fucking shove this fucking shit right back in their face. So, all the HR ladies, and men, I wouldn't spare the men from this side. I don't think this just has to be predominantly women. Well, it is going to be predominantly women because predominantly women are in HR. But I don't, if you're in HR, I hate you, period, regardless of your plumbing. So, they go through all this. They get their masters. They get their doctorates. They get the CPE. They go through the internet, and then I say, you've all been promoted with raises that will kick in the second or third quarter, 3 to 6 months from now. In 2 quarters, the budget allowed, we're going to give you all raises, and we're going to make them big raises. Big fucking raises. Like, a 50% raise, maybe even a 60 or 75% raise. And oh, by the way, your health care is taken care of, and we're coming on with a new compensation package. And so what that will do is that will get them expectant of that money, and then assuming they're HR women, and the HR women that I've dated and have known personally, Not all of them, but 95, 98% of them, they just can't help but getting those Prada purses and those bags. They cannot help but spend money that they don't have. But they practically have the money because old CEO Clary told them that they're going to get a raise. And then when they'd come in about a week before, after they've borrowed money, they got that numerous say, oh boy, their big raise is coming next week or next month. Then I'd say, terribly sorry, massive layoffs. I'm sorry, bad, and they don't look at numbers, they don't do accounting. We just lost one of our great clients, whatever, I'd come up with some bullshit. We're going to have to lay you all off. We're going to have to outsource. We're going to have to replace you. And we're going to really scale it down. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, it's out of our control. You're a great asset. We hate to see you. We'll give you the greatest recommend. We'll help you fill out the unemployment forms. But if you want, we'll give you a severance package. Let me smell severance. Because now they will have borrowed a shit ton of money. They will have ramped up their credit cards. They bought a bigger house. They got a pool, a car, a boat, whatever fucking shit. These women with their fucking materialism and consumption addiction, dude, they went to the mall. They're going to be so desperate. Well, they're not going to be able to turn down my generous offer for a severance package if they help train in the replacements. And I'm going to bring in nothing but a bunch of young men from economics, and they're not even going to have their degrees. They're going to be boys, all boys, well, young men, freshmen, juniors, seniors in college, who aren't even close to graduating, all from majoring in economics. And the reason why is because we're turning it into the Department of Labor, complete reorg. We can't afford it. We can only focus on the Department of Labor. We need to have a benefits and compensation office, not even office. You know, Mike is going to take over all benefits and compensation. Here's Mike. You know, some nerdy economist majoring kid. And then in employment law, that'll be Phil. And Phil, you know, he's got to, I'd have him dressed in there. So these girls would come in, and they'd have to train in the replay. I make sure there was an economist for each one. Now, what I would tell these economist kids, that I say, look, here's the deal. You're not getting groomed or trained to replace these gals. Matter of fact, there is no Department of Labor. You know, I said we're replacing the HR department with the Department of Labor that's supposed to be scaled down. Yeah, it's all bullshit. We're just going to pay you. It's like an internship. Come here, be our pawns in this chess game. Act like you'll learn a little bit about HR. It's not that hard. Don't worry. It's nothing like, remedial math. But just nod your head and say, okay, maybe pay them an extra little bit of money if they keep asking questions and make it painful for these HR ladies to train in the replacements. And then when the ladies, they finally get their severance package, which is a token amount, and their financial lives are ruined, and I've just wasted the past 5 years of their life, I say thank you to the young kids, here's your money. The economist kids go home, and then what I would do in a more serious manner, after I've had my fun with ruining the lives of the HR ladies, is the Department of Labor, which is really what I would do. If you want to, if your question was more academic, how would I run an HR department? There would not be an HR department. It would be the Department of Labor, and there'd be like a guy or a gal who'd keep tabs on salaries, insurance costs, health insurance costs, compensation data, benefits and compensation. They, 401ks, IRAs. That would be that person's responsibility, and then there'd be a lawyer who'd be in charge of employment law. And basically, when you look at it, it's like, well, we don't need to have a division. We don't need to have a Department of Labor. That would be outsourced. So we'd go find a law firm. Do you specialize in labor law? Okay, we'd like to hire you when we need you. We'd like to have you review our stuff. We don't need a full-time employee for this bullshit. This is not necessitating. This is not a profession. And then we'll have the economist, probably one of those kids, say, hey, keep tabs on health insurance costs and all this. Kids are smart. You'll find a smart kid to do that. And I can do that. And hey, Mike, what's the going rate for this guy over here? Oh, he'd go do his research and we'd get the data. But it wouldn't stop there. What I would then require is there'd be policy, there'd be decrees, there'd be dictates from me to how hiring would go. And I'd require all managers to do their own damn hiring and firing. All right? You do not You do not get an HR. You want employees? You go fucking do the research and hire them yourself. That's your job as a manager. This fucking, oh, I'm too busy being a manager or supervisor. I'm going to outsource all my screening to a 23-year-old ditz who can't do basic algebra. No. You get off your ass fucking their butt cheeks, and you're going to go and you're going to find your own goddamn employers. You're going to make sure you're good. And the other thing is, I would say college degrees not preferred. Unless you are in STEM or the trades or something like that, I would say, okay, I want smart kids. Would there be a training program? We'd have training programs because these kids would work for less because they don't have student loans. They're happy to get out of it. I'd be scouring the high schools. I'd be talking to the shop teachers and the math teachers, say, who's your smartest kid here? Who's the one that's got the most potential? Who's the most trainable? Because this way you bypass making these kids take an IQ test. You just go, what's the GPA? Okay, and you talk to the math. I'd get a network of all the math and physics and the chemistry teachers in the high schools and say, who are your best kids? And then kind of like a Peter Thiel way, I'd say, hey, we heard some good things about you. We'd like you to take this competency test, this training test. So we do whatever. And if the kid, like, we'd like to offer you a job doing this. There's a training program, and that's how we'd hire our fucking people. Like we did in the fucking golden era of America. Without HR cunts running all around. So, that's how we do it. Then, because of the mass efficiencies and time I'd save in running my large corporate empire here, I would spend a good amount of my time, at least 1 day a week, posting fake HR ads, like too good to be true, and then I would be personally interviewing these HR girls and guys that would come in and asking them the same stupid questions. And then I'd offer them jobs, but then rescind it, and then I'd say, you've been hired, and then I'd have them come in, and just like they did to me, and you guys probably too, when we interned, I would have them file, I'd have them fax, I'd have them do clerical shit, because I put ad hoc as needed, 75%, and then they'd be desperate and they'd take it, and then they'd just quit on me. And I just would continue to ruin as many HR people's lives as possible, is what I'd do. So that's how Old Captain would run an HR department. You guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. You need to talk to me directly. You can now, because it's going to cost you money, as everything does. You can download the Praxi app on your phone. Praxi, P-R-A-X-E-Y. Find that on the Google store, the iPhone store. If you need an emergency question, you just, you Praxi me. It's not like calling, it's like FaceTiming. But you got to provide them your credit card information. And yes, that is true. It's secure, it's safe, all that. But then you hit the thing, and if you need an emergency asshole consultation, I'm there. As long as I got internet access. What else? We got my books at Amazon.com. And then we have my podcast on SoundCloud.com. It's called The Clary Podcast. Look that up. So anyway, hope we learned a little bit about, you see, I'm an economist. I'm very efficient. That would be the most efficient way to get rid of human resources and replace them and extract the price that millions of American men and women have had to pay dealing with you HR people. You can never pay it back. You can never pay it back. That's like sending your kids off to daycare or getting divorced. You will never pay back that debt. And that is how much. Right now everyone's like, yeah, fuck HR. That's how much America hates you, HR. That's how much they hate you. And God almighty, I can't wait till you guys are outsourced. I cannot wait. Because the day is coming when all of a sudden it's like, oh, we don't have the budget for the CSR HR bullshit anymore. We're not making money. Your little industry's going to go away. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.